Okay, welcome back to Delboy's garage. Now, this here tow hitch thingy. Tonight, I've just had a little bit of fun. Missy P camera girl, she's off cooking dinner and things, so this is down to me tonight. What I've done is, just quick, I've filled in these, if you remember these folds on the tubing, I've just welded them up, just tack, 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 because this is only thin tubing. Tried to actually weld it and it just blows a hole through, so tacked them up completely, filled it up with a nice amount of weld, proper penetration and ground and back, so they now are a lot stronger. Now the test one, which was important to do, what I've done is just filled it with a big old piece of weld and then beat it, as you can see by the shape of it, senseless with a hammer, and it hasn't split. And standing on that, you know, giving it everything I can, that will not move. So test piece proves it's strong. Now the next job is to get these cross pieces, and as you can see, this is the general idea, that we're going to use this idea of these going across. They're already tigged in to a tube on the end with a little lock nut, but that'll get welded in the end, and they have like a bracket on the end, as you saw, so I've hacked them off, two back to back. Let's come out to the side. There we are. Okay, that's the top one, and effectively that will sit, balance it kind of there, and then the bottom one will come up. It's not easy with three hands, and they will effectively go above each other. There we go, like that, once they're all lined up. Now they will then get effectively welded together to form a solid brace across the back, and then welded here, and then after that I intend to put some little webs in there and in there for strength, and effectively that will make the whole thing one solid square unit. Getting it square is the issue, because at the moment the whole thing is adrift. But for tonight, just got cracking with these, got that done, and you join me with this. Now I've been messing around today with weld settings. I had a comment from one of you guys, please forgive, I can't remember, a guy from Leeds, who said to me, turn up the wire speed. So I have had a little session, get that off in a minute, I've had a little session with the old welder this afternoon. You know me, my welding's ugly and messy, but I have at last managed to get the setting reasonably right. So that's just a practice piece which I did. It does have a heat issue, as you can see. It's actually curved the box section. That got so hot the whole thing was growing white, so I need to probably do little short stitches. This is effectively, as you can see by the end, only, what is that, 2mm box section, so it's only 2mm sheet metal effectively, but still managed to get, at long last, as my mate Dan calls it, a half decent stack of nickels. So that's half decent weld. Now what I've done, now that I've got the settings right on the MIG and some fresh O2, I've just now got to buzz along here and here, both sides, make that one strong box section. That is the strength of the tow hitch affair. So that's what effectively I'm going to bolt the tow ball onto. So that really does need to be strong, and effectively they're just two floppy bits of metal, so they need to be proper stitch welded across. I don't want to try and avoid bolting them really, because they will effectively have the bolts of the tow ball through, so that should hold them. I think that's enough, and they're box sections, so if you bolt them and squeeze them too much, they'll just crush. So I want them proper welded. So now I've got the settings half decent, I'm going to have a play and buzz some beads along there and underneath, and see what they look like. Okay, stick around, stay tuned, see what it looks like. Okay, and there we go. Still glowing orange. Now, as I said, some light back on. It ain't pretty, but that is proper strong. And thanks to a suggestion from one of you guys, and I'm sorry I cannot remember without looking it up. It's a bit warm still. Suggested to turn up the wire speed and turn up the power. So I whacked the power up one switch and I turn up the wire speed to half, which has fired a lot more metal in and melted it proper. So that is proper strong. This test piece that I did earlier, that was a little bit less wire speed, trying to get that feel. But now that I've got the settings right, I can start to get the puddle correct as I go along. Stack of nickels, as Dan says. So it's going to work. I've avoided distortion. Yep. Nice and straight. So I'm going to let them cool down and poke them on the bike and see if they're still straight. Right, so test of any weld obviously is to just beat it. And this is a test piece, and that is not going anywhere. It's not splitting open, it's not bending. Same on this piece, this weld from earlier. That just put it on the floor. So I think we can say that won't come apart. In fact, it's just bent it and buckled it, but the weld is sound. So that's also been done. Come on, Zivek now. I've now got everything here in place. So the idea of these, just to show you a quick one on this. Obviously, weld penetration is important, and on the top, I've welded it underneath as well. And what I found is these weren't as nice a bead as the test piece, and the reason for that is that I ground this chrome off with a sanding disc, and I ground the chrome off the test piece with a hard stone grinder, and it probably, there's a bit of nickel or a bit of chrome left on that, so it kind of splattered a little bit more, but the penetration is absolutely all the way through, and I've beaten these hard as well. So that's that. So here we go for tonight. This is now the effect. So these will now get, come back. These now form a proper piece of box section that is effectively an inch by, I'd say that's 2.5 inches, and it's composite because it's made up of many layers. I've welded them down the edge there, as well as top, middle, bottom, and they'll get welded around the outside here of all 4 pieces of the brace, and they will hold the whole thing square. Also, now I've decided that rather than run these up here close by the wheel, I'm going to run them back here with the toe ball on there. And the reason for that is that then I get space here. I'm going to cross brace this to keep it strong. It's still hot. Right, so there we are tonight. That is pretty much all. It's just a quick one tonight. They're all now welded. That's the next section. Just keeping them in place. Just that quick point again, you know, YouTube is a fantastic place. A guy called Will, I think it was, again, sorry I can't remember your name, just suggested turn up the wire speed, chap from Leeds, and I did, and I turned up the power. It's fired in more wire and it's heated it up more, so effectively it's got a much better weld. So just experimenting really. I'm not a welder, as you can see, it's just a case of experimenting and learning as I go. So there we are, I've got those properly welded now. Just got to weld the ones around the outside, but then when I do that, it's a case of measuring everything and getting the angles lined up. Also this height, the ride height, wherever the toe ball should go in height. I've got the van with a tow bar, so I can just measure the height of the van tow bar and I can set that bike upright exactly. So there's a little bit of measuring to do next, but I just got to manufacture the components so far. So there we are, that's all for now. Thanks for tuning in and watching Delboy's Garage. See you next time.